There has been a certain level of flexibility as to how products are designed. Designers hardly go through the low fidelity and mid fidelity process anymore.
Hi everyone, welcome to 10 Minutes of Design with Chinedu Unfiltered. Here, we'll be talking about UX design, product strategy, products people use and how they make them feel, the latest technologies and how it is used by UX designers. All this from a professional, data-driven and personal view, which is undiluted.
In today's episode, I'll be talking about low, mid, and high fidelity design. What are they, and do we still need them while designing digital products in this age and time? Low fidelity, mid fidelity, high fidelity designs sounds like a lot, right? They are. Like, as a product designer, you think while you are creating or while you are solving a problem, where does low fidelity come in? Where does high fidelity come in? Where does mid fidelity come in? Okay, if I'm going to design low fidelity, right? How do I infuse mid fidelity? How do I validate that, how do I validate my mid fidelity design? Isn't high fidelity design what we do on Figma? And then you have to say, okay, low fidelity, how do I even test low fidelity design? Honestly, there can be a lot if you're just starting out as a product designer, but really interesting as you progress in your career and build out your own design process. You might be asking if it makes ideation and execution easier. I can categorically say yes, that it does. Well, not that I'm concluding, but let's move forward. I see a lot of designers jump into high fidelity design without validating their ideas with low and mid fidelity design, which isn't a very good practice. My reason is that you end up designing products without proper direction, no previous iteration, no history or explanation, and the experience becomes questionable and rigid. As a product designer, you need to be able to answer any question thrown at you about a product you are currently designing or have previously designed. Questions such as, why does A and B do what they do? And why should I click on A to achieve B? If you're unable to answer any of these questions, this means that you haven't thought through your product and you haven't examined your design process. But before I go further with what I really want to say, let's define the terms. What are low fidelity designs? This is a simple diagram of an early stage design concept which is used to quickly test ideas, identify gaps and pitfalls, and discard designs that don't resonate with the users. They consist of so many texts and sticky notes for high level brainstorming and collaboration. Next one will be what are mid fidelity designs. This contains more details, information, and interactivity compared to low fidelity design. This doesn't require you to create a style guide. You could use files from the community, such as Figma community, to create mid fidelity designs and rapid testing. What are high fidelity designs? This is the final one. High fidelity designs are the final designs of a product or website. They consist of the creation of style guide or the design system, like we all know it, which consists of brand colors, typography, icons, images, and CTAs, which is an abbreviation for call to action. High fidelity designs could either be fully fleshed out design with interactive components, or they could be developed with HTML and CSS. You might ask, where exactly in the design thinking process does low, mid, and high fidelity design come in? Assuming we are leveraging on the design thinking framework, it simply comes in during the prototyping phase. So now that we understand the difference between low, mid, and high fidelity designs and when they come in, I believe we can now appreciate why they are needed and when they might come in while we design our products. Low and mid fidelity are used to validate user experiences and business expectations, while high fidelity brings everything full circle and improves on it based on series of feedbacks and user testing. When I first started working as a product designer around 2020, I worked as a freelance product designer with a couple of companies. I understood the importance of design fidelities in the design thinking process, but one thing I didn't understand was how to communicate to the stakeholders the importance. It would also be nice to know that the stakeholders I mostly worked with were more familiar with straight up high fidelity designs with very short deadlines. It was frustrating trying to communicate why it was relevant we test these ideas before we go into high fidelity design, but they never budged. They expected high fidelity prototypes and they expected it immediately. Well, I had no choice but to deliver, but tweaked my process a little bit. In order not to get frustrated, I had to test the low fidelity design at my own free time before coming up with the high fidelity designs to present to the clients and stakeholders. This was a very fast process and it made my job easier. It made working with the client seamless and it made me confident in what I was designing, and the project finally came out really well. The reason I was able to think on my feet was because during this period, I worked along with the team at Fractal Link for a project with Lesheo Africa. Shout out to Sonny Take, who was the lead designer then. I was able to understand the importance of low and mid fidelity design in rapidly thinking about a problem and munching out screens so fast my jaws dropped. With this learning, I was able to apply the same principles to other projects I had at hand without feeling too overwhelmed, and the clients were really happy with the outcome of the project. Also, this begs the question, what is the importance of leads and senior designers in designing digital products? Maybe I'll talk more about this in one of my episodes. Leads and seniors from experience are vital when designing digital products, especially for someone who might only have about 1, 2, or 3 years experience under their belt and hasn't designed so many products from scratch. This experience can be life changing and would always improve the way you design and think about your design process. And the reason for this is because you get to learn fast and execute fast too. You are like a sponge soaking up everything thrown at you. But let's get back to the topic. These fidelity stages are around to help us think through the solutions we are providing our users and quickly iterate on feedbacks. But at the end of the day, in the real world, things can be different and fast. Considering we are living in a fast-paced technological world where the nature of development is now 100x what it previously was, with new tools and methodologies coming at us fast. There has been a certain level of flexibility as to how products are designed. Designers hardly go through the low fidelity and mid fidelity process anymore. Clients want their design developed and launched fast, and designers have to adapt, which means there's a need to strike the right balance between maintaining quality and meeting tight deadlines, and prioritization plays a very big role at this stage. Project requirements have to be well understood. Rapid prototyping, iterative design, and user testing becomes pivotal. By focusing on the most critical aspects of each fidelity level, designers can streamline the process without compromising on the overall quality of the digital product. The future of digital design is exciting, and we would likely have to approach design fidelity differently. Take, for example, with what Figma is doing with the community, where you can get design resources and assets or complete projects in industries such as fintech, health tech, Web3, and the likes to help you design fast and launch fast. So, back to the question, do we still need these fidelity types in this time and age? Definitely, we do, but it would evolve over time. So, let's recap. Design fidelity are vital in the design process. Design fidelity makes ideation and execution easier. It also fosters a deep connection and understanding of any project you're working on. As product designers, there's a need to adjust to the current state of things. Everything evolves, so will the way we make use of design fidelities. I hope this has been helpful and enlightening to you. Kindly tune in to my next episode. Till next time, signing out, Chinedu.